Good morning TheQPals. The Season 6 of MPL Indonesia has just concluded, and RRQ Hoshi has been hailed as the champions for 2 consecutive seasons.
Wow!
A huge congratulations to them for winning the tournament, especially the very epic Game 5 of the Grand Finals. Anyway, I gathered and studied the data of hero picks and bans of teams in the entire playoffs. Today we will know the most picked and banned heroes of these professional players, and which heroes got the highest and lowest win rate of them all.
But, TheQPal, how would this video help a non-professional MLBB player like me?
The experience of a competitive 5v5 professional tournament is very different compared to a normal solo queue rank match. But it is apparent that the meta in our regular rank matches are being influenced by the ideas of these professional players. If there are people who should know which heroes are the best in the land of Dawn, it would be the pro players. Right? So to answer your question, this video will be helpful in giving us normal players some insights about which heroes are the most reliable ones in winning matches to rank up faster.
Wow!
So what are you waiting for? Make that like button blue now and let's start learning. Hey! Are you a Mobile Legends player who wants to know more about the game? Please consider subscribing to my channel and turning the notification bell on to become a certified TheQPal today. We will have a huge giveaway once we reach 150,000 TheQPals. So please help me revive our channel by liking this video and sharing it to your friends. There are 4 heroes that are tied in rank 9 to 12 who have been picked 34.8% of the time in the playoffs. These are Yi Sun-shin, Valor, Hilda and Harith. Yi Sun-shin has been an effective jungler and carry this season 6 with a 75% win rate. Thanks to his passive and ultimate skills for the damage and vision that he can provide, especially in crucial times. Valor has been an amazing support for the teams because of his early game damage from first skill. His second skill was also very helpful in countering enemy initiators and chargers. Hilda has been used by pro players as the main tank, and he is one of the most annoying ones. That is because of his damage from his skills and his tankiness and ability to regen in bushes. For Harith, players saw his potential as a jungler carry. He wasn't as effective as Yi Sun-shin, but he is absolutely a viable carry against team compositions that do not have enough crowd control. Harith needs to be able to play aggressive in early game in order to dominate a match. Moving on, we have Lancelot in the 8th spot with 39.1% pick rate. He is one of the go-to carries of professional players for several reasons. Some of these are his insane burst damage and his flashiness. Lancelot is very reliable, but of course, your hands and decision-making skills need to be fast when you're using him. I have video about top 10 best junglers which you can watch to give you ideas on why some heroes excel than others when it comes to being a jungler carry. Back to the list, we have the new hero Barret's in rank 7. In my video Should You Buy Barret's? I analyzed Barret's pros and cons. Pro players also saw the potential in Barret's by picking him 43.5% of the time as a side laner, specifically in the XP lane. He is also effective as supported by his 70% win rate, all thanks to his durability, resilience and damage. Tied in rank 5 to 6 we have Thamuz and Pharsa who both have a pick rate of 47.8%. Thamuz is really one of the most trusted offlaners by professional players since his release. He has the early game power and the sustain as the match progresses, making him a reliable fighter for teams. Pharsa on the other hand is pretty versatile. She was used by pro players either as a middle laner mage or a solo side laner. Her insane damage and wave clear are very promising together with her mobility to rotate fast. We have a triple tie for the rank 2 to 4. These heroes are Khalid, Jawhead and Esmeralda who all got a pick rate of 52.2%. Khalid is a little versatile because he was used a few times as a side laner, but used more as a tank by these pro teams. He has a great early game distraction, thanks to his first skill, that can dish out crazy damage at level 1. Speaking of early game distraction, there is Jawhead. He was used mainly as a tank that focuses on initiating. His second skill has been useful in ruining the buff taking of enemies, which cause a huge delay to the enemy carry. Esmeralda on the other hand was also quite versatile, being used mainly as a side laner and sometimes as a jungler carry. Personally, Esmeralda is more effective as a jungler in rank matches for normal players like us. But in the pro scene, these teams can easily execute a plan on how to counter Esmeralda. The top one most picked hero by these pro players is Yu Zhong, with 60.9% pick rate. I actually thought that the nerf hammer that hit Yu Zhong before will lose his reliability, but these pro teams proved me wrong. I was right when I told you that it's not worthy to ban Yu Zhong anymore after that nerf though. Anyway, Yu Zhong has been an effective offlaner for the teams with a 64.3% win rate, all thanks to his damage, sustain and ultimate. Now, let's proceed to the top 10 most banned hero in the playoffs was Lancelot. He was banned 34.8% of the time because of the same reasons why he's one of the most picked. He's just very threatening if placed in the hand of a pro Lancelot user. In the 9th spot we have Chubb with 39.1% ban rate. I was actually confused why Chubb got banned a lot. He was picked only 4 times in the entire playoffs as an offlaner, so I guess pro players saw his potential in that department. Chubb is absolutely a great charger with his flashy skills, but he wasn't that effective in this tournament. He got 0% win rate, but I'm not sure if it's Chubb's fault as a hero or the players who used him. There's also a possibility that the opposing team just really knows how to fight against him properly. Esmeralda got the 8th spot for being banned 43.5% of the time. Her getting banned and picked a lot by pro teams tells us something. They really see her abilities fitting in their meta, so it's either they pick her or they stop their opponents in picking her. She got a low win rate though at 25%. Moving on, tied in rank 6 to 7 are Barretts and Helkert with 56.5% ban rate. Barretts is a high priority hero for the pro teams since he was either picked or banned in the entire playoffs. Helkert on the other hand only got picked twice as a jungler carry, but they are banning him, mainly because of his assassination ability. He has this annoying silence to make sure that his enemies won't escape the death from his stingers. His ultimate is also very helpful for his team to carry out amazing plays. In the 5th spot we have Selena who was banned 60.9% of the time. Selena is one of the best supports right now and pro players know about this. She actually got a 71.4% win rate in the playoffs. I know, Selena is an assassin, but she is being used as a support because there are just other heroes who are more reliable in the jungler department. Again, feel free to watch my top 10 best junglers video. She is still deadly as a support though, thanks to her stun and damage. However, the most important thing that she can contribute to the team is the vision from her first skill. She can place traps in strategical spots to reveal the rotation of their enemies. Next, we have Ling in the 4th spot. He was banned 69.6% in the entire playoffs. Ling is just one of those S-tier heroes who can really be a scary jungler carry if enemies don't know how to counter him. In pro tournaments though, players really take time to analyze how to counter Ling and they incorporate it in their team composition and rotation. Banning him is the easiest way to do it though. Tied in rank 2 to 3 are Natalia and Roger. They were banned 78.3% of the time, which is a sign that pro players really want to avoid fighting against them. Natalia was used as a utility support. She is kind of similar with Selena since both of them can still assassinate heroes and provide vision to their team. Although, Natalia has this element of surprise because of her invisibility. Roger on the other hand is just a very reliable jungler carry. He has a very high damage, plus he is more durable than most carries because he is still a fighter when in wolf form. He also has mobility, and that makes him a complete package for a carry. Wondering who got the first spot as the most banned hero? Well, it is Uranus because pro teams banned him 87% of the time. Uranus is played as an offlaner, and he is really a pain in the asses of his opponents. He can be very durable especially in middle to late game. Pro players do not want to deal with this annoying hero, and banning him is the only option. Because of this, Uranus was only available to get picked in 3 matches, and he won in all of those matches. That tells us something. Now that we've talked about the most picked and banned heroes in MPL Indonesia Season 6, Let's now proceed to the heroes who got the highest and lowest win rates. Just some clarification before we proceed, I only included heroes who were picked at least 5 times out of the 23 matches in the playoffs for this part. Baxia is the top 10 with 60% win rate in 5 matches. He was used as a tanker and offlaner. Regardless, the main reason why pro teams pick him is his passive skill, which is a great counter against heroes with high sustainability and regen. He can also rotate quickly around the map because of his first skill. In top 9 we have Valor with 62.5% win rate. He is not the go-to support of pro players, but he is pretty reliable as seen in his win rate. A really annoying hero for initiators and chargers. Top 8 is the most picked hero Yu Zhong, which got a 64.3% win rate. This just shows how effective he is as an offlaner. Top 7 we have Lancelot with 66.7% win rate in 9 matches. This just shows how Lancelot can carry a team when used by a player who masters him. Maybe you can master him too to help you in carrying new players in your solo queue. Top 6 is Barretts, who managed to win 70% of the time. Very strong offlaner and deserves to get banned even in normal ranked games. His durability and damage are really scary, plus the resilience from his passive that makes him almost unkillable. His ultimate can also secure a kill on a hero that he catches, especially when around his teammates. Titan rank 4 to 5 are Kufra and Selena, who were both picked 7 times with 71.4% win rate. I already told you why Selena is one of the best supports right now, so let's just talk about Kufra. I was actually surprised that pro teams were not picking nor banning Kufra that much. He was only banned 5 times, which means that he was available in 18 matches. Yet, players only picked him 7 times. I personally think that he is still the best tank right now, since he excels in the initiation department. His first skill can really surprise enemies with its long range. He is also a great counter against slippery heroes who have a lot of blink skills. Please comment below if you have any ideas why pro players did not consider picking him most of the time despite being available. In top 3, we have Yi Sun Shin, which won 75% of the 8 matches he was picked. I already mentioned why he's that effective, so let's move on to the more interesting part. The top 2 hero with the highest win rate is Lunox, who was picked 5 times and got a win rate of 80%. Lunox is another versatile hero. Pro players use her as either a mid laner mage or a solo side laner. Her first and third skills are good enough in clearing minion waves, and her second skill together with her dark ultimate can easily get kills. She also has an escape skill from her light ultimate, which makes her immune to damage while dealing some AoE magic damage. I personally miss using her as a carry, but I'm still happy to see that pro players are seeing something in her on other roles. Anyway, if that's interesting, here's a more interesting one. The hero who got the highest win rate in the playoffs is Wanwan. She was picked as the gold laner in 6 matches, and she won in 83.3% of these matches. The reason that I see on why Wanwan became effective in this tournament is because of the 1-3-1 strategy. Let me explain it further. Pro teams are still using the 1-3-1 strategy, which usually places 2 melee heroes on both side lanes. Wanwan can take advantage of her marksman nature plus her passive when facing these melee heroes. Another benefit of having Wanwan in the team composition is that they will have an extra main damage dealer other than the jungler. Since a match usually lasts at least 14 minutes, having a marksman like her really becomes handy as the match gets longer. Enemies will need to kill 2 damage dealers, and if they don't have the capability to catch another slippery hero like Wanwan, they will really have a hard time. That's something to think about. Anyway, let's move on to the heroes who had the lowest win rates in this tournament. Here, I only considered heroes who were picked at least 4 times in the playoffs. In rank 10, we have Ling with 42.9% win rate. I already mentioned how pro players give effort in creating some tactics to counter a very strong hero like Ling. 42.9% is not that bad of a win rate, but it still shows that the teams were prepared in playing against him. Khalid got the 9th spot with 41.7% win rate in 12 matches. Although he can be distracting in early game as a tank, he didn't really become that effective in this tournament. Probably, the teams already learned how to fight against him as well. In rank 8 we have Roger. In the 5 matches that he played, he only won in 40% of those matches. I also want to mention that he was used once as the gold laner by Team RRQ Hoshi in the Game 1 of the Grand Finals against Alter Ego, and they got defeated. I don't know the exact reason why they picked Roger and Ling together, but it didn't work for them. As I mentioned a while ago, Roger is a complete package as a carry, but it is important to note that he needs to be able to farm properly in early game to dominate. Tied in rank 6 to 7 are Hilda and Harith, who were both picked 8 times and got a win rate of 37.5%. Teams just really know how to play against these two heroes, that's why they did not become as effective as before. By the way, in the series of Evos vs Onyx were able to counter Evo's Harith pick with 2 consecutive Bruno picks after Evos dominated them with Harith in Game 1. I did not expect that at all, but that's the reason why I like watching professional tournaments. I learn new things to improve my knowledge of the game from these pro players just by watching them. Anyway, Jawhead is the top 5 hero with the lowest win rate after winning only 33.3% of his 12 matches. Based on my observation, I really saw Jawhead's effectivity in ruining the early farming of enemy jungler. Jawhead can just throw heroes or creeps then run away. However, if their team wasn't able to maintain the early lead that was contributed by Jawhead, he can lose his effectivity in the late game. As I told you, Jawhead was played as a tank, but he isn't really very tanky even in late game with full defensive equipments. There is also a tendency for him to feed while distracting his enemies in early game since he only relies on flicker to escape. Tied in top 3 to 4 are X-Borg and Esmeralda at 25% win rate. Esmeralda's low win rate is contributed to the pro player's knowledge on how to counter her just like Ling. It doesn't mean that she sucks as a hero. It's just that she really gets a hard time when facing a player who knows how to play against her. For X-Borg on the other hand, he was only picked 4 times and never even banned. This shows that he was not that valuable for pro players. He was probably just picked when all the better offlaners are already picked or banned by either of the teams. X-Borg is a good offlaner, but I don't consider him as one of the best right now. The hero in the second spot with the lowest win rate was Farsa at 18.2%. I consider Farsa as one of the best mid laner mage because of her damage, wave clear, and ability to send backup quickly. But for some reasons, these pro players gave a hard time for Farsa to win matches. One possible reason for this is that most meta heroes have the ability to charge Farsa when she's using her ultimate. Lastly, the hero who got the lowest win rate was Cho, who did not win any of his 4 matches. I already told you the possible reasons for that, but this does not mean that Cho sucks, because he doesn't. Pro players wouldn't even mind banning and picking Cho if he is useless. Right? These are all the information that I got from the meta of MPL Indonesia this Season 6. I'll show you the complete data in a few seconds. But which among these did you find the most interesting? For me, it's Farsa's very low win rate. I will try to analyze MPL Philippines playoffs too to see how the meta of these two countries differ, so please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell to be notified when I upload it. Here are the complete data of the playoffs. You have a nice day and see you on my next video.